What's happening around the world? Around the world. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. What's going on? What's going on in this world? Is there a new president of the United States? I don't know. Drama. So there you go. What's up, Federico? What's happening in Norway? The AC Slade. Luzaretsky, what's up, bro? Haven't seen you in a minute. What's happening up in Canada? What's happening up in Canada, Mark? All right. Yeah, man. What else? What do I need? What are you the only one here? No, bro, you're not the only one here. You are not alone. Take my hand. Take my hand. Am I the only one here? Yeah. Yep. So let me tell you about something. Let's see. How about, do you know that the next show that we got going on, the next show is our 75th show. Crazy. And we got Walter Schreifels coming on the show. Should be cool. Walter Schreifels, Gorilla Biscuits, Youth of Today, Quicksand, Rival Schools, and Dead Heavens. Also, special guest on this show for the 75th, Roger Moret from Agnostic Front. So, 75th show is going to be a long show. I bet it's going to be like 3 hours. This will definitely be the longest show we've done. Not rushing through anything. You know, it's going to be a long show. So that's Walter Schreifels' 75th show. So we got that. And then a week from today, Wednesday, November 11th, from Public Image and Pigface and Ministry and Nine Inch Nails, we got Mr. Martin Atkins is coming on the show. So that should be cool. A lot of good old school punk rock folklore to go with that. So that said, what else? Let me see. Let's see what's up with Steven in the meantime. Bro.
What's up?
What are you driving?
I'm in the park.
You're in the park?
I'm in the park with the goats.
Hey, where's the picture of you and the dude from The Wire, man? You got to send me that picture again.
Oh, The Shield, you mean?
What was it?
The Shield.
What's his name?
Mike Chiklis.
Yeah, you got to send that, man.
Yeah, I got to send you that one. That's a good one.
Yep. Yes, he's in a car. He's not working today. So
not working. Not in the box.
So wait a second. Why is the Wi-Fi good in the car but not in the house?
That is a very good question. I think because the government is monitoring the house, and we had a crazy storms here, and my Wi-Fi has been screwy all week. So I came over to where the goats are. The goats have better Wi-Fi. That's what it comes down to.
Yo, I got to shout out Shoshana Levinson, Zum's wife out there in Long Island. What's happening? Hope you're well.
What's up?
Hope you're well out there. Lenny's asking about my car. Did my car make it through the night? Listen.
Nobody better touch my car.
You want to come out, you want to throw a few bricks, that's okay. Everybody likes to throw a few bricks once in a while. I understand. But if you mess with my car, I swear to God, if something happens to my car, I will freaking... You want to have fun, you want to be silly, you want to go looting and all that. That's fine. Fuck with my car, I will kill you. Seriously. You know what I mean? So there you go. Yes, I'm back in New York City. I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back in the New York groove. Hey, let's do photo of the day. Let me clear the deck here.
Let's do it.
Super excited about today's show. Got a great guest. In the meantime, photo of the day. Where is it? Photo of the day.
Let's see your wrong answers.
Only wrong answers only, please.
And I know this is going to be a tough one.
This is going to be hard. We only want wrong answers. Here we go. Hardcore Shutterbug photo of the day. Boom. There you go. Let's see what we got here. Come on, you bums. Here we go. My Prius. It's not a Prius, it's a Lexus. Okay, come on. Get with the program. Photo of the day. What is this? Some crazy lag time today or something?
I guess so.
You know? Okay. Is it Electric Light Orchestra?
That's Jeff Lynne right there. You can tell.
Wrong answers only to start with. You nut Pugsy. Pugsy. Is it Kiss? Is it Kiss? Is it Lordi?
Oh, Lordy.
Lordy? What is that?
Lordy is like an English version of these guys.
Okay, here's a winner right here. Is it the editing staff of Veg News? That's awesome.
Oh,
That's
my
great.
God.
Is it Trump?
Trump wishes.
Yeah. Here's a good one. Whoa, this is a good one. Is it green jelly? Jello.
They were Jello, then they became Jelly.
Here's a winner, Yuri. Is it the Olsen twins?
Wow. See, we got a creative crew here. This is good stuff.
Yeah. Slipknot? No. The YMCA guys?
The village
That
people?
would be the village. That would be the village people. Wait, hold on. We have another one from that sesh. Hold on. Here's another one from that sesh. Here we go. Another one from that.
Yo.
There you go.
Look at that.
Is it Bill Haley and the Comets? Who's asking about my car again?
Oh.
Bro, Scott, you're checking in a little late. I just went through the whole shtick about my car. You want to go throw a few bricks? That's okay. You fuck with my car, that's another issue altogether. All right. Anyway. Okay, here we go. Time for the right answer. Is it Lady Gaga with Metallica? I like this one here, bro. Okay, here we go. There you go, bro. How's that?
Look at that.
Hey, you know what? This is a good one. Is it Lord of the Rings? You know what? Kind of looks like what were those things?
The Orokai.
Yeah, not to be confused with the orcs. It was the Orokai.
Were the bigger ones, yeah.
Yeah, the Orokai. Yep, he looks like an orc. All right, here we go. Is it Gwar Gwar Gwar? Is it Gwar? Is it Gwar? Is it
Gwar? Is it Gwar?
Is it Gwar? Is it Madonna? Is it the Carpenters? Is it Chillis and the Things? Is it Menudo? Is it the Misfits? All right, let's go. What is it? We know what it is. Go ahead.
It's the mighty Gwar.
Yep.
And that is, well, that picture right there with the late great Oderus Urungus was from I believe that was from a Comic-Con. That was I think it was either a Comic-Con or a Weekend of Horrors. I think it was a Comic-Con, and all the Gwar guys were there. And this was a funny moment because just the fact that he's sitting there drinking coffee in full regalia. But we were talking about a time in 1994, Serial Poets opened up for Gwar at the Roxy Music Hall, and it was us, Bile, and Gwar. And I was talking to Oderus, and I said, "You remember that show we played in 1994 with Bile?" And he goes, "Bile." He goes, those fuckers put angel dust in my weed. And anyway, these pictures here were taken at the Crazy Donkey.
Where else?
Crazy Donkey, Farmingdale. This is 2010, which was late. This is towards the end because Crazy Donkey went down shortly thereafter. It closed up, I think. But cramming them into the donkey was pretty insane. You know, blood everywhere, blood on the walls, you know, the whole place. And just one of those fun bands that are really actually
you know what I don't understand is, like, the main dude passed away.
Yeah.
And they didn't miss a beat.
No. In fact, they had a girl replace him for a while singing. And then they got this new guy, I can't remember his name. But yeah, kind of an institution. You know, they started out as like an art school project, and they're actually underrated, I think, as musicians and songwriters. They got some good stuff, you know.
Right.
And if you have you ever seen them?
Yeah, I saw them early
They're
on.
fun, you know.
Yeah, they're a fun band for sure. I mean, they have the right attitude.
Yeah, and there's
Have fun, throw blood around. You know,
exactly
puke on
cut
your
heads off
audience.
of people. They
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the annual barbecue they have every year, you know.
Yep.
And just a
Yeah, you know who managed them?
so you talk about Sleazy P Martini.
No, Gawar was managed by Jack Flanagan from the Mob. Rest in peace.
Oh, you mean their real manager?
The real manager was
Okay, because
Jack Flanagan. The guitar player in the Mob, New York hardcore.
I thought you were talking about their like fake
Okay,
manager.
let's acknowledge that Dave was born in Canada. Yes, we know.
Dave Brocky.
Yep.
Yeah, really nice guys too. Like they were cool as hell, and just the you know, it's funny. I think, and I believe they were Grammy nominated multiple times for their videos.
Really?
Yeah. The
Okay.
Phallus in Wonderland video, I believe, is
Phallus
nominated
in
for.
Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. All right. Hey,
Yeah.
Gabe Franco, what's happening, man? How's that Antidote gig going, Gabe? How's that? Better you than me, pal. Wow. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, Gabe.
Oh man.
Anyway, hey, good stuff, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna sit in the car and then come back on?
Yeah. I may go see the goats and come back in, you know?
All right. Yeah, we want to see the goats later, bro.
Absolutely.
All right. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Later.
Take care. Yo, what's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records, and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page. New York Hardcore Comics opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo the Pro and Lee Fraley combined their collections and obsessions for comic books, punk rock, toys, statues, magic, the gathering, and all things horror. The store is located at 117th Street in lovely Dobbs Ferry, New York. If you want to support them during this pandemic, please contact them via email at newyorkhardcorecomics@gmail.com. Also, while we're at it, before we bring Rap Bones on, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, located in Lakewood, Colorado, is the Rocky Mountain headquarters for all things punk, hardcore, and metal. Established in 2014, they have the largest selection of records, CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and Los Angeles. From the pit to the ditch, they got your back. Glad someone got my back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. That said, yeah, drama. That said, hold on a second. Let's bring on Rap Bones. What's up, Rap Bones?
What's going on, everybody? What's up, Drew?
Been a minute, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I did my sale the other day. It went okay. I mean, it was Halloween, so I had like that extra crowd. And also Karen Black played the park. I didn't get too much overflow from that. But I got a pretty heavy segment today. Not too crazy, but I want to give a couple shout-outs because I'm not on Sundays no more. So can I give 2 shout-outs? Then I'm going to roll my skill.
Bro, you literally, the clock is ticking, bro. So you can sit there and fart in the wind all you want.
I don't have fancy pictures and fancy records. I have to make my
Go
stuff.
ahead.
So I'm going to give a shout out to Chris Zanil, Toasty, Sharpie came by, Spike Polite, and my boy Doug Dillon sent me some killer shirts. If you're on Patreon, you can check those out. I also want to show I got a couple novelty items for my pitwear line real quick. Do my endorsement first this time. This is a cool ass backpack, one of a kind. Do the Rap Bones. And we got the flask, one of a kind.
What's up with that shirt?
Yeah, well, this is what we're getting into today. So come with me to a galaxy far, far away. But in 1 minute, because I really want to interject one thing, and I want to sew myself back into the music scene with you people and reminisce to a long time ago, a galaxy far away, literally, right? When we used to go to shows, man. Madball at the Marlin Room, Nuclear Assault at Gramercy, Danzig, Jerry Only at Prudential in Newark. Look at that, just last year, 2019. The Addicts was actually the last show I went to. So let's harken back to a time when we can get back to shows. Hope that comes soon. Let's get to the toy today, guys. I just wanted to, it's all about the music on the show, so it's hard for me to time my gig in. But I got some really good stuff today, guys. Of course, I'm going to go all the way back to the Star Wars because I love Star Wars stuff. I got the collector's case, and I'm going to show some of these guys today because the second season of Mandalorian just premiered, and I like the way they're telling the old characters. They're bringing the old characters back for us old guys, and all these guys are first run. But if you could see on the new show, look, the shirt looks like there's even more.
Are those sand people?
Yeah.
Wait. Those are sand people and Jawas, right?
Yeah. And R2D2 back there.
Who's that up on the top on the left?
That's actually, like I said, he's a character in the new Mandalorian season 2. He's a Weequay, and he's friends with. He's like a bartender at the place.
And the other one is that like an R2D4?
Yeah. RD5 or something like that. I don't even know all of their names like that. But I just want to show a couple more of those bad boys. I played them up, and these are also original 12.
Nice.
So yeah,
is that an older Obi-Wan Kenobi there?
Yeah, definitely.
Played by Alec Guinness in the film.
I mean, I really like those old actors.
Bridge over the River Kwai.
I was a big horror fan, so like I like that Peter Cushing and even in the later episodes, the 1, 2, and 3 with Count Dooku, being Christopher Lee, like they, those get laughed off as kid movies, but they're pretty good stories. They're all right. You got to be a diehard Star Wars fan and like want to know the whole story to like sit through all that.
One of those was brutal, man. One of those was brutal.
This is like one of my all-time favorite. Like we always got our favorite guy. I probably won't do Star Wars for a long minute, but this was always my favorite as a kid. This guy.
Is that Greedo?
No. Let's see if anybody gets it.
Oh, that's the dude. Is that the dude in the bar in the cantina?
No.
Huh. I don't know.
That is Bosk. Yeah, he's cool. I always liked him. I liked his reptilian arms. He had a crazy gun. So yeah, that's the toy of the day, guys. Little Star Wars. And there it is.
All right. Cool.
I tried to keep it sweet.
Hey, we made it. We made it through it, bro.
What's a hardcore?
How come I don't hear your kid and your girl yapping in the background?
They're in the back.
Good. Keep them in check when you come on the show, bro.
I mean, to people who don't know the toy game, this looks like child's play, but it's a high-end market, man. If you really know your stuff,
Listen, you're passionate about it, and your passion. Huh?
Let the haters hate if they don't get it. I see a couple smart asses out there once in a while when I'm doing my
bro.
Whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll bring you back on later with our guest. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Talk to you in a bit.
Radio.
There you go. The mighty Rat Bones. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, the Organic Grill, Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. The Texas Silver Rush is a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to create and design unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo, photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rollet. You know what? I was checking out Greg Rollet. He was in Santana. He sang Black Magic Woman. And he also sang Evil Ways. You've got to change your evil ways. Cho-cha. Yep. And got a black magic. You know who did the great version of Black Magic Woman? Come on. Who did the great version of Black Magic Woman? That's right, Peter Green and Fleetwood Mac. Yep. Ringo Starr and, of course, Agnostic Front. During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram page, and, of course, www.texassilverrush.com. Joe Romini at the Texas Silver Rush. I know you're watching the show. Yo, let's get him on the show. It's like, it's so wrong that someone from Journey would come on the New York Hardcore Chronicles show that we kind of got to do it. So I'm down. I am down. That said, let's clear the deck and let's bring on our guest, today's guest. Clearing the deck. The deck. Okay. And here we go. Is everybody behaving themselves? Yeah, Joe. Definitely. Yeah. Joe, we got to get Greg Rollet on the show. It's so wrong, it's right. You know what I mean? So we got to get working on that. That said, today's guest is an American musician and entrepreneur, perhaps best known as the bassist of the alternative metal band Dope and the former guitarist of the horror punk and glam metal act Murderdolls. He's also known as the live rhythm guitarist of the Misfits. Previously, he was the lead vocalist and guitarist of Trashlight Vision and played bass in Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. He is a well-known coffee aficionado and is an owner of Catfight Coffee. Please welcome, coming at us from lovely Newark, New Jersey, Mr. AC Slade. What's up, brother?
Dude, I gotta tell you, I'm just having such a great time. Like, I feel like I'm hanging out with friends of mine, like between Rat Bones talking about the Star Wars stuff, and then they started talking about all the silver, like all the silver biker jewelry. Like, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just hanging out with friends, and that's exactly what's needed right now. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, and thank you, and you nailed it, man. That's really the ethos of this show. You know, I started the show as an alternative to all that other stuff. You know what? Get away from the TV, get away from all that stuff. Come on here, let's connect with the community, and let's have a couple laughs, and let's talk about, you know, what really, you know, bonds us together, which is music. You know,
music and you know, guys like us. It's not just about the music. It's about the culture. It's about like
absolutely
all the stores that you were talking about that sell toys. It's like those are the places I love, like vintage vinyl, and up in like the New England area, there's Newberry Comics. Like, you could go in and you could check out the records and the CDs and the used CDs and the used records, and then you could pick up some cool horror movie toys. Like, I got my Hellraiser and Halloween 2 toys in here. You know.
Already you're getting some love for the Russ Meyer coffee crossover shirt. Let's see that.
Yeah. Thank you. We did a officially licensed Tura Satana coffee. Which,
I saw that.
Yeah. Not a lot, you know, I was surprised how few people know who Tura is. And you know, talk about superheroes, like, people don't really know her history, but besides being the Russ Myers chick, you know, she came over here from her parents were Filipino in Japan. She came over here during World War II, immediately was put into an American concentration camp because
what nationality was she?
Japanese.
I didn't realize that she was totally Japanese.
Well, her body type does not lead you to believe that she would be Japanese. Right. But they immediately put her and her family in a you know, concentration camp that we had over here for Japanese people.
Of course,
she got
an internment camp.
Sorry. And then, you know, her family moved to Chicago. She got gang raped by these guys. So her dad taught her karate and martial arts, and she went and she extracted her revenge on these dudes individually. Like, she's really a superhero.
Wow.
And I feel really good about the coffee because I feel like a lot of people don't know who she is, and she is such a badass. They know that image, but they don't know who she is. So it's been really. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Let's break with tradition a little bit while we're here. You know, we go where the horse leads us here. You know, tell us a little bit about Caffeine Coffee. I know, you know, it's a passion of yours, and also, you know, this ties in a little bit. Also, I love this, man. The Night of the Living Dead coffee that you put out. Yeah, let's talk. Give us, what is this? Tell us about it.
Well, I like doing licensed stuff, and again, you know, this comes back to the whole record store physical component experience. So what we did is we did it. It's officially licensed. It's not bootleg, but that poster is a signed and numbered poster screen print, almost like you would do like with the collectible screen print posters, concert posters rather.
Right.
So I wanted to do that, but then the coffee spans across 3 bags. So if you buy all 3 bags and put them together, it makes one cohesive scene. But we did the limited edition poster where it's an unbroken print. You know,
I love the art. Who did the art?
That's a guy named Chris Nielsen. Chris is out in California.
It brings, and I know this is obvious, but it reminds me a little bit of the Walking Dead comic book a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, which I enjoy. You know.
Yeah, absolutely,
for sure. So let's talk a little bit about what was up with you when zombies started biting people, when the shit hit the fan. Musically, what were you up to? What happened? You know.
Well, ironically, I was in Taiwan when everything broke.
Of course you were.
Yeah, I know. My wife's Taiwanese, and I was in Taiwan, and we heard about this coronavirus, and all of a sudden it was like, my wife's like, all right, you got to start wearing this mask. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. They got it in black. Like, I'm only wearing a black one. And she's like, all right, fine, we'll get you a black one. Yeah. And in their culture, you stock up on masks, you know, like it's not weird to wear a mask. You wear a mask.
Yeah.
And
well, let me just interject. It's a different culture, right? It's like if you're sick, it's only respectful for you to wear a mask in public. It's just proper etiquette.
Yes. And it was like almost immediately, you know, I went to the gym, and they had the thermometer that they put to your head. Nobody's ever put anything to my head before. And I was like, yo, and wiping everything down, taping your temperature everywhere you went. You know, if you went on the subway, no matter where you went, you were getting your temperature taken.
Wow.
And everybody was wearing masks. Everybody had hand sanitizer. Everybody did all that. And, you know, I was concerned even coming back to the States. Like, I felt like I was in Indiana Jones, like rolling under that wall coming down, you know.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it's interesting because now Taiwan hasn't had a reported case in 200 days.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't mean to get political about it, but, you know, people comply with their masks. They use hand sanitizers. Mm-hmm. They quarantine for 2 weeks if you get sick, and they don't have any reported cases.
Well, I think it's similar to sort of here in New York. You know, they've really kind of locked things down, and the numbers have gone down, man. I mean, like it or not, you know, it's like, you know, I live on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. There's very few cases up here because everybody's wearing a friggin' mask, you know, and people are very socially distanced up here. So, yeah. I mean, better or worse, New York is kind of, you know, keeping it suppressed.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, I'm seeing a lot of people, you know, talk shit about New York right now. But what they're not seeing is, you're right, when it comes to this COVID thing, we have come together and we have been respectful, I think. You know, you're always going to get a shitbag here or there. But for the most part, New York, man, because like I travel around a lot, even during this pandemic, I've had to go out to the suburbs a lot in Pennsylvania or here or there. And you go out there, and when you leave our New York bubble and you see people not complying with masks, you're like, oh shit, man. Like,
yeah. It's crazy. So did you have shows booked when this thing happened? Did you have to reschedule anything? Where were you at musically?
Yeah, I was supposed to do Mexico City in April, and we thought that we were going to get in under that gate, that closing gate. It was like, come on, man.
We, as in which band?
That was Misfits in.
Oh, wow.
And But interestingly, on the flip side of it, I'm one of the only people that have done a show during the pandemic. We did one in Wisconsin back, I forget when it was, sometime during the summer. And, the flip side to it is we did this show in Wisconsin with Dope, and they did it in a big empty field that could hold 10,000 people. And they only sold 2,500 tickets. Mm-hmm. They had sanitizers everywhere. You were supposed to wear a mask everywhere you went. And I'm telling you, man, like and in that area, they haven't had very many reported cases of COVID. So
at the time.
At the time, yeah, of course. Yeah. So mm-hmm. We did that show. It went fine. Everything was cool. And it is this thing of like, we got to wear masks. We got to quarantine. We got to pay attention. We got to, stick to the rules. We got to do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, like if you're following the rules, we could maybe do some shows too, So
yeah,
it's a tricky time,
Absolutely. You grew up in Pennsylvania, is that right?
Yeah, like right kind of on the cusp of Amish country. I guess that's why I'm always wearing black,
And what was the name of that town?
Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
I dated a girl from Quakertown.
Okay.
Yeah. So Downingtown. And what was you told me, what was Downingtown sort of claim to fame?
Oh, the home of the Blob. The Blob was filmed in Downingtown. Yes.
That's cool. The Blob with Steve McQueen, an American classic. The Blob with Steve McQueen. Which, it's funny because I watched this fairly recently. I actually, doing the alternate side street parking thing in New York. I park on a side street here in the Upper West Side, and there was a box of sealed DVDs. It was like Ratbone's Dream, like a whole box. And I dug, and it was all this sealed. The Blob, Logan's Run, all that. Like I grabbed a ton of stuff. And I actually watched this recently just because, it's one of those things that, I revisited. And I just thought to myself, I wonder what small town that is.
Yep. That was my hometown.
When you were growing up there, was it sort of like common knowledge that the film was shot there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that diner has changed hands so many.
Wow. Sure.
The home of the Blob,
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's great. And how did music come into your life?
My family put me in the church choir. I hated it. And but we had a really cool passion play, which involved a lot of theatrics. So the passion play is like the Stations of the Cross.
Yes.
And it involved a lot of fake blood and crucifying Jesus, and they had spears loaded with fake blood, and he had a crown of thorns that he had like a little diaphragm filled with blood, and he would like squeeze it. And I mean, it was like to 8 or 9 year old Acey, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then fast forward to like 13, I go to an Alice Cooper show, and I'm like, oh, well, like this is kind of the same thing. I was like, maybe my parents would dig this. Wrong. There.
I found that. You didn't send that to me. I found it.
Wow, you dug deep.
Yo, listen, man. This is my job now. Listen.
I probably ate that whole cake.
Dude, it doesn't get any better than that, man. I mean, you're definitely 13 years old. You got your shot at the Devil's shirt. It is awesome, man.
An awesome shirt. Yeah.
So you were a heavy set kid, huh?
Yeah, my nickname was Butterball. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Huh. Almost on, wow. How was that growing up?
Not fun. It sucked. But
yeah.
That's it's funny. Like I was this chubby kid, like you see in that picture. When I turned I don't know, like I remember it was almost like overnight, like when I was like 15 or 16, I didn't lose weight. I just got taller.
I see.
So I got like 1.5 feet taller overnight, and yeah.
There you go. I love you like an emo kid loves girls' pants, Nancy Taylor. That's good. I love it. I love this. That's just great, man. And so at that point, you're doing passion play stuff. When do you pick up an instrument?
when kind of like I wasn't into sports, and I wasn't.
I was going to ask you that. Growing up in Pennsylvania, like, which is such a vibrant place, for like, were you into sports at all as a kid?
No. Because I was, like I said, I was a big fat kid, and it's like, I guess I could have been a linebacker or something, but no, I wasn't, and I wasn't into studying, and I wasn't into academics, and I wasn't into anything. So I kind of got into playing music more as a social thing, because that's what my friends were doing too.
Sure.
So one of the things I feel really glad about with growing up in Pennsylvania, which at the time I didn't like, but there aren't enough kids to have one scene or another. So it was basically all us kids in the art class, and it was like, well, whether you liked, Bauhaus, or whether you liked Discharge, or whether you liked Motley Crue, it was like, oh, well, we all have like these crazy haircuts, get picked on by the jocks.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see a difference. It was more like we didn't see a difference between like a crust punk spiked out haircut and a Nikki Sixx haircut, or a Bauhaus haircut, or Nine Inch Nails. It was like, all we know is that those jocks are all like wanting to beat our asses.
Right.
So we kind of like had this scene in it, and I feel grateful for that, because I'm still very open-minded when it comes to music.
That's great.
I was also very jealous of the guys in New York, where it could be like, well, no, like, okay, you're a punk band, but are you a hardcore band, or are you a crust punk band?
Yeah.
A 76 era band? Like, what type? Like, and it seems like a lot of the people from those scenes got along, but you could specifically really narrow it down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I went to public school in New York, and things were very, polarized. It was like, are you, what are you, man? And it was like the lines were drawn. So it's really nice to hear that, in a place like that it was sort of like all the sort of fringe elements kind of, drew together under one umbrella, Yeah. Against the, under the united against the enemy, the jocks.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can't deny, like, it's like, all right, yeah, I was wearing a Motley Crue shirt, but it's not like I had Texas, Kansas City to introduce me to anything,
Yep. Hey, our good friend Chucky Brown and show kind of real music historian says his sister took him to see his first concert to see Twisted Sister. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's a good first concert.
Life changing. Yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, considering sort of what you gravitated to, right? I mean, totally makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember seeing Dee Snider and him just having that crowd right in his hands. I mean, there is no better frontman than Dee Snider, in my opinion. He was
great, man. And do you remember where you saw them that first time?
Oh, Philadelphia Spectrum. Yeah.
Oh, the old Philly Spectrum.
Yep.
Did Twisted Sister headline the Philly Spectrum back then?
No, they opened for Iron Maiden, and Iron Maiden were good. They were great, but Twisted Sister, there's something raw and honest and authentic about Twisted Sister.
Absolutely. So, how'd you pick up an instrument? And your first band was Vampire Love Dolls, right?
I mean, I had like high school bands, just like anybody. But that was like the first one where I was getting serious, where it was like coming out of high school, where it was like, yeah, this is, I think I want to try to do this for a living, and that was the first one. And that was with Christian Martucci, who he plays in Stone Sour now, but he was he was in Chelsea Smiles with Todd Youth. He was Dee Dee Ramone's guitar player for a long time.
I did not know that.
Yeah. He played with Dee Dee, and then he was in Chelsea Smiles with Todd. And I'm so proud of him, because he was a local Pennsylvania guy from your area. Yeah, he had a band called Strychnine Babies after Vampire Love Dolls.
That sounds familiar. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool, man. He was just about to kind of give up, and then he started playing with Corey Taylor from Slipknot and his side stuff, and now he joined Stone Sour, and now he's he's all swept up, which is great, you know.
That's great, man. You know, there's a lot of nice stories out there, guys, that just hung in there. You know, for every story of the, you know, those that sort of had to turn themselves into the authorities. There's a couple out there, guys that you know, got that break. Like Mark Rizzo was on the show. He's in Soulfly now. He's another guy that that was around. You know, very proficient guitar player. And one day, you know, he got the call, and it changed his life forever. You know.
Yeah,
that's awesome. You know, so tell us about the progression. Vampire Love Dolls, you know, Dope, that Trash Light Vision, Murderdolls. Like, you know, it seemed like you really jumped around there. Things were really kind of moving for you at a certain point.
Yeah, I was in this Vampire Love Dolls band, and it was trying to make it, and nothing was really working, and without getting into a drunk-a-log or without waving my sobriety flag too high, I was going nowhere really. And so I got sober and I got my shit together. And right before I got sober, I met the singer for the band Dope. And I met him at CMJ. And I was like walking around with all my CDs, my Vampire Love Doll CDs, and he was walking around with his CDs. And he's like, hey man, like, why don't you join my band? And I was like, well, I don't know, dude. And my thing's still doing well. But I introduced him to the guys who would, yeah, that's Etzel. And I introduced him to the guitar player and drummer that ended up becoming the band. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting sober. 9 months later, the band got a record deal with Epic, and they called me up and they're like, hey man, like the guy that we have isn't working out. Do you want to move to New York and join the band? And that was 21 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, moved to New York and moved to Brooklyn. And then from there, we put out 2 albums on Epic, classic story. We went to put out the second record. It was supposed to come out on 9/11. But just after. And our video had a shot where that we were playing in like this glass cage, and like all the kids like jumped through the glass to start like rocking out with us, almost like a hockey type thing. And MTV's like, well, nope, you can't play videos of people jumping through glass because that's too much like 9/11. And so the plug got pulled on us for the second record, and I was kind of like, well, I don't know what to do now. It was very clear we were getting dropped. But I had become friends with Joey from Slipknot when I was in Dope, and we toured with with Slipknot. And
Jordy, for those that may not know, Jordanson, the drummer for Slipknot.
Yeah, and
I was friends with Sid back then, the DJ.
Oh, Sid's great.
Yeah,
all their fucking minds.
Yeah.
And so when we were on tour together, it was like, when you're listening to really fucking heavy music all the time. And at that time, I just saw all these bands being like, oh, hey man, have you heard Meshuggah? Yeah, they're the most brutal band ever. Oh, have you heard, this band? Oh, they're the most brutal band ever. And I was just like, okay, it's brutal. Like, what, can you guys come out with any other adjectives, And so I was like, well, fuck this shit. And I would walk around wearing like New York Dolls shirt, and Hanoi Rocks shirts, and the Damned, just to antagonize people. And Joey was like, dude, do you actually like those bands? I'm like, well, yeah, of course I do. And he's like, well, I got this band called the Murderdolls. And so right when Dope got dropped, he asked me if I wanted to join the Murderdolls. And at that time, all that was booked was a 2-week US tour, a 2-week European tour, and then Japan dates with Guns N' Roses. And at that point, it's funny how things work from the outside. It's like, people saw Dope, and from the outside, it was like, oh, that's a very successful band.
Sure.
Was. And we got to do a lot of great shit. And I was kind of like, well, maybe this is the end of the road. I never got to go to Europe. I never got to go to Japan, but I got to tour with Kid Rock, and I got to do all this other shit. So that's pretty cool. Got to open for Alice Cooper on Halloween, and maybe it's time for me to punch the clock, And
it's almost, maybe it's time for me to turn myself into the authorities, as we say.
Exactly. And so this was kind of like, all right, well, I'll do this for a month and see what happens, and I'll have these cool experiences. And then Joey's got Slipknot, so obviously that's the priority, and that's what he's gonna do. And what we couldn't have known was that band was going to explode in Europe and Japan. And it didn't explode in the States, but overseas, dude, we were massive. And so that became a priority for Joey. So for a year and a half, we did the Murderdolls and then
touring nonstop.
Dude, nonstop. I mean,
I remember that run that you guys did. It was like you guys were everywhere, man, for like 2 years, it felt, you know? Yeah.
I mean, I literally used to have to keep multiple currencies in my wallet because it was like,
yeah.
Hey, well, we're going to Europe, but then from there, we're not coming home. We're flying to Japan. And then we come from like just trying to keep the logistics straight, you know?
Sure.
It was awesome. And I'm working on a Murderdolls book right now, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because not a lot of people we came in pre-digital age, you know? Mm-hmm. And I've always kept journals and, you know, that band was fucking insane. And, you know, it's funny, Dope, we never took for granted the fact that we were signed to a major label. We worked really hard. We always took things very seriously.
Uh-huh.
With the Murderdolls, it was like, well, this might be the end of the road. At any day, Joey could go back to Slipknot. So let's act like fucking retards. We did. And the more retarded we acted, the more the UK press would write about us and the Japanese press would write about us. And we're like,
that's a dangerous place to be, isn't it? Well, yeah. then again, you know what? I'll say this. I'm clean and sober 12 years now myself.
Oh, great. Cool.
So, you know, in a certain way, when for me, it's like the sort of what I use is you got to be responsible to act irresponsible, and that's kind of like what I've done in my filmmaking and in the band stuff. Is from the outside, it might seem to someone that it's really out of hand and crazy, but truth be told, you know, being clean and sober, you know, being real responsible, you know, it's not really self-destructive, so to speak.
No, you know, I mean, you hear people in bands say all the time, like, you know, well, you get to travel around the world, but you don't really see much. And it's like, well, I don't know, like I wake up at 10, you know, which is plenty of time to sleep late. Like I still hang out with everybody who's partying till 2, you know, so I hang out till 2. Sometimes I light the fuse on that keg, you know, and walk away before it explodes, you know.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, I wake up at 10 and I'll spend 2 or 3 hours walking around Vienna or, you know, wherever we might be, Krasnodar, Russia, wherever. I'll walk around for a couple hours, see some shit, get back to the bus, go to sound check, you know?
Yeah. You know, I learned that when I was out on the road with Biohazard. I was out with them for many years, and it was Danny Schuler, the drummer for Biohazard, who said to me, I remember him saying that, you know, we go all over the place, we go all over the world, and these guys do nothing. They sleep in the bus and then wake up and go into the venue, play the venue, hang out backstage, and then go back into the bus. He goes, I'm not going to do that. I want each place that we go to, I want to go out and see. And I was like, yo, I'm down. Yep. And, you know, so I have to give him credit. I learned a lot about being on the road from those guys. But in Danny's case, he really set that example of, hey, man, this might not ever happen again. So let's enjoy the places we're going to. You know, like we go to Paris. Hey, let's go to the Louvre. Hey, we go here. You know, like it was always something. And you know, there are many bands that they don't do shit. They fucking sleep on the bus all day.
Yeah, I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor that if there was a 4-way Biohazard battle royale, that Danny would win.
Whew. Well, I mean, Danny's a jiu-jitsu guy, and so's Billy.
Right.
Billy's a very versed jiu-jitsu guy. So
okay, but who's darker?
Billy for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I love Billy.
Listen, these are my boys, man. You know, like and you know, very, you know, these guys put me on back in the day. I have no problem saying that. You know, like they put me on back in the day and took me around the world. And this is all said with love. Of course. Yeah, of course. But let me put this in perspective. You know, Danny's out in New Jersey, you know, 5 kids, you know, doing his thing. You know, Billy's out there doing it still, man. Billy's doing Power Flow. Billy's doing Billy Bio. Billy's definitely got Billy's got a definite dark side for sure. And I love Billy, man.
What about Bobby though?
Well, you know, Bobby's not in the jiu-jitsu game, so
No,
you know,
not.
Bobby's the kind of dude that'll come up behind you and hit you over the head with a bottle. That's Bobby.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bobby's that kind of dude, you know. Yeah. So everybody's chiming in. Billy goes with the Gracie. Billy goes with the Gracie family. Yeah, he's a Gracie guy. Sure. Biohazard used to cover Bad Religion. We're only gonna die. Oh, there you go. Yeah, everybody loves Billy and Danny. Yo, those are our boys, man. Those are our boys. So tell us about. Tell me about this picture and how this came to be. How about this?
Oh, yeah, boss lady.
Yeah, boss. She is the boss, huh?
Yeah, man. You know, yeah, that was actually right after we played MSG with the Misfits. She played.
Oh.
Yeah. That wasn't while I was in the band.
You know, I was looking at this and I thought this was a little. It was fairly recently. So
yeah.
she was at the Misfits show.
No. That was at her show. She played Montclair, New Jersey. Like.
Oh, I know that place. Yeah, the theater in Montclair.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that place. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know, she Joan. I mean, that was amazing. You know, it was like you and I were talking about the other day. It was just, even though even though playing in Dope, like you still have like you kind of go through that same thing that you go through at your local gigs, only every night in every city you go to, where you're like, okay, like you're you know, we were playing clubs or small theaters, and it's like you still got that grumpy, shitty sound guy. Be there. You're worried about people showing up. If anything, you're worried more because you know that like you've got label reps there or whatever. But
I love this story. I love what you're getting at. Go ahead.
And I remember playing with Joan. It was like I don't got to peer out behind the curtain anymore and wonder if Trigger, the door guy at the Continental, is like fucking our door tonight. You know, I don't got to worry about that anymore. And
could you imagine? Wow, you're in a band, you're playing shows, and you know every night it's going to be packed and people are going to be stoked. And there's that's amazing, man.
Yeah, but I mean, we did. You know, to Joan's credit, I mean, we did. You know, she does a lot of corporate events that suck, you know, and I'm not saying that as a dig on her. I'm saying that because they got to keep the electric on because she owns Heart Records, owns her own record company, owns her own merch.
And Kenny still manages her?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had to do some sucky gigs too, but you knew that like when you did that sucky gig that the check was going to clear. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, all right, got to do this, you know.
For those that may not know, let me just say that bands like Joan Jett and the Black Hearts, and there's a lot of bands out there that get the call to play these corporate gigs, these private shows, right? And they pay very good money, and it's part of being a working musician.
Yeah. And we would do. I mean, and it was funny because we do some. Like we did one that was a GNC vitamin party, and it was
that's cool though. I like that one.
That was the only time I ever saw her almost lose her cool. And if she had lost her cool, I would have backed it. I'd have been like,
really? Why? What was the scenario? It was just a crummy situation.
We were playing on a yard, like a proper yard on the flatbed, and they set up all the tables and catering like at the other end of like almost like a football field distance away. Right. And so this big field, and we're at one end, and everybody's like sitting there at like the buffet, like getting their food, and we're like playing while they're like sticking their hands under the sneeze guard and shit, and just really they were kind of disrespectful. I mean, I don't know what I would have done if I were one of those people, but they really seemed very uninterested. They were on the other side of the lawn, and it was just, and it was daytime. It was just not a good scene, you know?
I guess that's just kind of part of it, right? They, as we say, they all can't be upper deck home runs, right?
But then we did one where it was Urban Decay Cosmetics, the makeup company.
Uh-huh.
It was their gig, and so it was all makeup artist chicks.
Nice.
All girls. And then
Nice.
another one, and it's the AMC movie release party, and the entire cast of Walking Dead is in front of you.
Oh, that's great.
And the entire cast of Breaking Bad and Walking Dead and all the AMC actors are like standing there like rocking out, you know, and you're like, you know, Norman Reedus is there, like, you know, like trying to grab a guitar pick, and I'm like, this is awesome, you know.
Wow, that's cool.
Just
So how did she come into your orbit? How did you get the gig?
You know, I am a firm believer that you create your opportunities.
Absolutely.
And I don't like when people say that I'm lucky. And I get what they mean. I'm fortunate. But I got to tell you, that thing fell out of the sky. I kind of, after Murderdolls, I played in this band called Amen for a short time. And and then it was like, all right, well, I'm going to try my own thing now with all the connections that I got. And it was a bad time for the industry. And I think that the bands I was doing weren't quite right for that time either.
That was AC Slade and the Dark Party?
First, it was Trash Light Vision, which was kind of like a punk and roll type thing, you know, like a lot like the Scandinavian rock bands like the Hives, Backyard Babies, Lucifer, Peter Pan Speed Rock, Turbo Negro. It was like that sort of thing. And I think that we were a little late to the party, and that stuff never really took off here anyway.
Yeah.
And then I did the Dark Party, which was a bit more, that was like an experiment that I did, and I didn't have anything else going on. So I put that out, and I was like, again, it was like, well, I've worked my hardest. I've tried my hardest. I'm doing everything I can. Doesn't seem like anything's taken off. And I was working in Soho at this like a rock and roll jewelry store called Bizarros. I don't know if you know that or not.
No, I don't.
The drummer's wife, I replaced her because she was having a baby, and we were friends, and I didn't have any thoughts of playing in Joan Jett at all, none at all.
Uh-huh.
And one day I just get a phone call. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
Phone call from
Joan's drummer's wife.
Oh, okay. So I get it now. So you were friends with Joan's, and was that Tommy Price?
Yeah, Tommy's wife. Mm-hmm.
Tommy's wife. Okay.
And so I just get a call from her out of the blue. She's like, "Acey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Working." She's like, "All right, go home, learn 5 Joan songs. If you nail your audition on Wednesday, you know, grab your passport because you're going to Australia and you got the gig."
Yeah.
And I nailed it. And so it fell out of the sky.
Can I ask, what were the 5 songs when you came? What were the 5 songs?
Cherry Bomb, I Love Rock and Roll. It was Cherry Bomb, and it was 2 Bad Reputation. Cherry Bomb, Bad Reputation. Maybe Hate Myself for Loving You.
Black Leather?
Oh, no, we didn't do that one. Yeah, that one's kind of been swept away. But
yeah, I know. You know, when I saw her in 80, 81, it was all about that stuff. It was great. She was great.
Yeah. Well, you know, people forget too. There was a hot minute where Joan wasn't cool. You know, you got to remember, she went from playing arenas, and then she had like a dip, and then they did Lighted Day, and then that blew up, and she kind of had that second life, and then, you know, there was a moment where it was like, yeah, she's not cool anymore.
Well, we always talk about that we always talk about that. I'm sorry?
Which is hard to imagine that there was a time where people were like, yeah, Joan Jett, you know?
Well, we always talk about that on the show, that, you know, art is cyclical in nature, you know, and you know, if you hang in there long enough, you know, the wave goes in and the wave goes out, and then the wave goes back in again. And then, you know, New York hardcore goes out, and then it comes back, and then Drew Stone sucks, and then he's great, and then he sucks again. You know, it's like, I think what's interesting is once you sort of get acclimated to that, you could weather the hard times. You don't get too emotional over it. You just hang in there, and things come back around, man.
Yeah, but that's part of why I started the coffee company. Not that I'm trying to pimp that, but
it's okay.
I wanted to have something that I loved, something that I really enjoyed, that could be my day job,
Right.
And that's how that started. Yeah.
Here, wait, I got a good coffee picture here. How about this one? There you go. Why coffee? I mean, have you always been a big coffee drinker?
Dude, ever since I was a kid, ever since I used to go around, my parents are both entrepreneurs, and they used to, drink coffee in the office. And I used to sneak around as a kid, drink their cold coffee at the end of the day. And kind of what happened was, I guess the way I got into it was I would be on tour, specifically with Joan. With Joan, we had a lot of downtime because we were very well taken care of. We never lifted a finger. And we'd get into these B markets, and I'd be like, well, where are the cool record shops? Where are the cool music stores? Where are the cool restaurants? And it's always where the good coffee shops are, which also worked out for me too, because I like good coffee. So I would go on Yelp, Google the best coffee shops, and then just for fun, I started doing my own Yelp reviews. And then I started keeping a coffee journal, and I don't know, it just evolved from there, keeping all these coffee journals. I started taking coffee classes. I love taking classes. The nerd in me loves taking classes, and just knowing more about it and learning more about it. And I was like, well, fuck it. I didn't feel like, what it was? I felt like there wasn't, all the hipster kids have the best coffee, but they got terrible taste in music and their marketing sucks. And I felt like, why can't you have both? They have very minimal packaging. They have very minimal branding. Why am I supposed to believe that the coffee inside is any good if you haven't put any thought into what the outside looks like? So that's kind of our whole jam.
Let me, here you go. For those out there that are asking and are interested, it's www.catfightcoffee.com. And I was on there yesterday. And I must say, you really have a few really unique, great products. You can tell it's not, because listen, we all see sort of a lot of these guys like slap a sticker on a coffee. Like we see that, hey, I got a coffee, I got my own coffee. And it's just like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? It's like I put my sticker on a a generic bag of coffee. I have my own hot sauce. Yeah, okay, man. That's cool. Good for you. Well,
that's why I didn't want to call it my name. I mean, right before you and I got on the phone, I was unpacking boxes. We roasted a new batch of coffee. We're very involved. We're very hands-on. When the boxes get here, I take them off the truck. I got a fucking board that takes them down in the basement, and I go down. My wife and I do all the shipping. I'm not slapping a sticker on anything. Like
what's this, man?
Oh, that's my ride.
Is that what you deliver the coffee in?
Sometimes.
That's cool. Excuse me, but is that a Cadillac Hearse?
Oh yeah. That was my first one. That's in 84, and now I have an 88.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great to the delivery. That's awesome.
Let me tell you that you never know where the fun is going to arrive when you own a Hearse. So I was at my mom's house the other day, and she's like, "Hey, your sister, we need to clean up we're cleaning up the attic. Your sister has her old bassinet, which is like a baby thing." And she's like, "Can you run that over? Because you got the Hearse, you got all that room." I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So I pull up in front of her Hearse, in front of her house, and I open up the back of the Hearse, and I'm pulling out the bassinet, and this old guy pulls up. He's like, "Oh dear, did someone's baby pass?" And I'm like, "No, dude, this is my car." He's not laughing at me.
That's great. And already, Our people are chiming in. I can't wait to try Catfight. Huge coffee drinker. Matt Macabre says Turo's blend is amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to say, yeah, there it is. There it is. www.catfightcoffee.com. I see here. I was looking at this photo. It looks like the hearse might have broken down, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, you know what? I know where this is. That's what a New Yorker I am. This to me looks like coming from Newark on 78 when you hit the toll by Newark Airport. It's right when you go through the toll.
Yep. And I was praying. I'm like, please let me get through the toll booth, because then they charge you like extra if they got to tow you off the turnpike, you know.
That's right. That's right. It's funny. I looked at this and I was like, I've been parked right there. You know, that's where you park when you're going to Newark Airport if you're early. You know, that's funny. That thing must have a monster engine in it, huh?
Oh yeah, that one. I think it's a 426 V8. Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome.
But my new one's better. My new one's banging. I really beautiful.
How do you, just out of curiosity, like, is there like, how do you get in the market for a hearse? Is there like a recycler? Is there sort of like a network of like if I wanted to get a hearse, like how do you even find a hearse?
Well, there's a couple things. One is there's Facebook groups of hearse owners. And Facebook Marketplace is how I found mine.
That's cool. Yeah. There must be like a whole network of, just like there's like the DeLorean people, the VW Bug people, the old school Ford Econoline van people. There must be a whole like underground culture of the hearse people.
Oh, absolutely. And they're so intrigued. They're super supportive. You know, it's cool.
I'm intrigued. Hey, I got to shout out some sponsors and do a couple other things. Hang with me a bit, and we'll be back. We'll talk about a couple of things, including playing Madison Square Garden, and we'll take some questions. See you in a bit. There you go. AC Slade, there you go. Awesome. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. Also want to shout out Warren and everybody at Pitchfork, and of course, Zum at Fryette Amplification. That said, let me clear the deck a little bit. And is everybody behaving themselves in there? I want to mention a couple other shows coming up. Whoa, what did I just do? Ooh, don't want to hit the wrong buttons around here. Coming up on Sunday, November 15th, we got our old friend Laz Pina and also Dave Chevalier from El Nino coming on, getting a little flavor, little Hispanic flavor on the show. Then after that, super excited about this one. This is a New York hardcore OG who really does not do interviews, but we're getting him on the show, Mr. Keith Burkhart from Cause for Alarm. This is going to be a great show, rich in New York hardcore culture and folklore. After that, got to mention we got Jay Peta from Mind Force and Pillars of Ivory coming up on the show. Senor Jay Peta should be cool. We all love Mind Force. Great band. So that should be great. And we just announced this the other day, the Global Unity Show. How about that? With Unregenerate Blood and Riz from King Lai Chi. This one's already in December a little bit. But listen, man, listen, the show's worldwide. We want to bring our brothers from China on the show. They're doing some really cool stuff over there. So looking forward to that. That said, I want to mention the merch. For those of you, I'll put the link in the chat room there. The New York Hardcore Chronicles merch. Where is that? Where's that? Mike Gibbons sent me a picture of his dog rocking the New York Hardcore. Here it is. The dog hoodie. The dog hoodie. All right. There you go. So there you go. Rocking the New York Hardcore Dog hoodie. Just put the merch link in the comments, in the comment room. Don't be shy. Got the mug. Got it all, man. Got the girls' leggings. So there you go. The holidays are coming up. Also, I want to mention the Patreon page. Please support the show. Things don't magically happen. Please come out. Don't be a lurker. Don't be a shirker. Don't be a Hatreon. Join Patreon. So there you go. On Patreon, it's our community within a community. I'm posting up all kinds of cool stuff. Got a lot of great stuff coming up. So don't be shy. Join Patreon. Be a part of it. If you can't wrap your head around Patreon, there's a PayPal as well. If I can find it. There you go. There's a PayPal, Stone4124 at AOL. That's right. Stone4124 at AOL. Get down on Patreon. Want to mention a couple of other things real quick. There is couple of things. First off, there's a show coming up this Saturday, a live show with Reaching Out and Locked Inside. It's happening out in Jersey, out in Jackson, New Jersey. You know, the kids Reaching Out were on the show recently. It's going to be a proper socially distant show. So if you're out there in Jersey, I'm shouting out this show hard. Chris from Your Core fan page brought it to my attention. Should be cool. A little bit of a $5 donation. Listen, if you can't pony up $5, stay home. Basically. So yeah, that's happening. Also, I want to shout out this also Phil and Flash for our Boston friends. Legendary Boston photographer Phil and Flash, Springer from SSD Control's brother. They have a photo show opening up, I think tomorrow, right up there in the Fenway. Lots of great photos. He took the photo, you know, Boston, not LA, all the SSD Control stuff, the Clash and all that. That photo right there is from the 7-inch, the companion to This Is Boston, Not LA, Unsafe at Any Speed 7-inch. So if you're up in Boston, go check out the Phil and Flash show. Last but not least but not last, where's the Olago thing I'm doing? Oh, here you go. Hey, there's I'm doing a screening, a virtual screening and a Q&A of Who the Fuck Is That Guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Olago. It's part of the Midwest Music Expo. And it's free. If it's free, it's for me. They're going to screen the film. All you have to do is register. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post it around. All you got to do is register. And after the film, I'm going to be on, it's like a Zoom thing, kind of like this, similar platform. I'm going to be doing a Q&A with the one and only Michael Olago. So that should be a lot of fun. I'll post it up around. So there you go. That said, did I cover everything? Let me see. Oh, you know what? You know what I wanted to mention? I went up to the corner, and I saw on the subway there was an ad for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And listen, we all know the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know, is pretty much a joke. But I couldn't help but notice that they're inducting Whitney Houston and Notorious B.I.G. And I was like, Whitney Houston? Like, you know, and then I just peeked. I had to look at a couple of people that aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So Whitney Houston's getting in before Judas Priest, Pantera, Pat Benatar. Now listen, I'm not saying, Pat Benatar wasn't exactly my thing back in the day, but Pat Benatar put in work in the rock and roll world. You know, tell me Whitney Houston should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Pat Benatar? Come on. Rage Against the Machine, Todd Rundgren. How could Notorious B.I.G. be in before Todd Rundgren? Iron Maiden, Motorhead, The Monkees. The Monkees aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Much less, listen, I'm not going to go to like, how about the Bab Rains? How about Black Flag? How about Misfits? How about Tina Turner isn't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? But you know what? We got to get Whitney Houston in, and we got to get Notorious B.I.G. So I don't know. That's just a little bit. That's just a little bit of my rant today on that. You know, it's like, yeah, Pat and Emitar. Pantera deserves it, of course. They all deserve it. I mean, but yep, yeah. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations are chaired by Jan Wenner. Tells you all you need to know. You know, I'm just saying. I know it's a numbers game. You know, I'm just ragging. I'm just ragging. You know, and if you fuck with my car, you want to go out and you want to throw bricks around, that's okay. Fuck with my car. Fuck my car up, man. You know. Oh, now I sound like Eddie Trunk, huh? Ooh, that's not good. I'm sorry. The last guy I want to sound like is Eddie Trunk. That's for friggin' sure. What else? Alago looks like The Rock in that photo, huh? Yep. There you go. Dude, I'm blessed. I am blessed. I'm absolutely blessed. Absolutely. And I appreciate everybody that's enjoying the show and is a part of the show. Abso-fucking-lutely. What else is on my to-do list here? You know, we'll take another break. Let's come up with some questions for our guest. And let me clear the deck here. There's the PayPal page, the Lexus. Yo, you mess with the Lexus, I swear to God. I don't care about much in this world. You know, I don't care. Women come and go, kids, whatever. Fuck with my car, I will kill you. So there you go. That said, let me get rid of all this. There's the Patreon page. Come out of the shadows. Stop lurking. Support the show. Don't be a taker your whole life. All right? You want to go throw a couple bricks, that's fine. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, let me clear the deck here. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. Patreon, everything. All right. Let us bring our guest back on, Mr. AC Slade. Hey, buddy. Is everything okay over there in Newark?
Yeah, everything's all right.
All right. You know who lives in Newark? I don't know if you know him, but one of our favorite guests, Danny Diablo, is in Newark.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there you go. So we made our way through Joan Jett, and tell us a little bit about, you played Madison Square Garden recently. That must have been a dream come true. Tell us about how all that came around for you.
Well, that was an amazing show, but we were talking about the Twisted Sister thing before, and
I got a photo. I know where you're going with this, and I like it. Would that be this? Would that be this?
I'm about to get a lot of hate. I know I'm about to get a lot of hate.
Is that this?
That's that. Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Dude, I don't know what to say. I get emotional just thinking about it, but it's not the same arena as the Spectrum. It's the Wells Fargo Center, but it's on the same lot of ground. It's still the same piece of dirt. It's still where the Flyers and the 76ers play. And, I consider myself more a New Yorker than anything. I feel like I grew up in New York, but I still always got one foot in Philly. And, that after we played the Garden show, I hate to say this, but a lot of people talk about comedians, like after they're on Saturday Night Live, they have a little bit of almost like a come down, like a depression of like, okay, well, I played Saturday Night Live, like what now? And I gotta say, like I had a little bit of that. And also, I was very aware that show was not about me. That show is about three other guys.
Yeah.
The hard work that they did. I didn't do the work that put that show on. Those three guys did. They built the house. I crashed on the couch, Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, by the way, we're playing Philly on December 14th. My birthday's technically the 15th, but it was basically like, oh, by the way, we're playing the arena that you saw your first show in on your birthday. And I was like,
awesome.
Wow. So I kind of felt like it, you know, again, not taking credit away from anyone, but I felt like that show was theirs. And I did feel like that show was mine. Like, I felt like this is it. Don't get any better, you know?
And how did you fall in with those guys? How did you end up playing with them?
Just through, you know, when I was playing with Joan, when I was playing with Joan and we got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we did a lot of gigs, and you know, Glenn knew me and Jerry knew me, so it was just kind of and management. It was one of those things, you know, like a lot of pieces that kind of fell into place together.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I'm sure they were a huge influence growing up, and you've always loved their music, and I mean that's great. Yeah,
forget about it.
Yeah, yeah, and talk about playing big shows, right? I mean, you've played every show with them from Jump Street, so I mean, since they got back together, so you guys have played some really big shows, man.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
That's cool. You know what I wanted to ask you about? This is a couple of pictures you sent me. And it's interesting because my brother was there as well. Ooh, this might not come up to, no, I could do better than that. Hold on. Yeah, some of these photos you sent me are really teeny, but you know what? You went to Chernobyl, right?
Yeah, that was almost exactly a year ago, right now. And actually, I know you're a documentary guy. So did you see the Babushka woman of Chernobyl?
No, but I saw. I didn't see that, but I did enjoy a film called The Chernobyl Diaries, which was a little bit of a. I mean, I don't really watch a lot of films like that, but I thought that was. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was pretty well done. You know, I'm a big fan of the Blair Witch Project and those sort of films. I thought that was very similar, and I enjoyed that film.
Well, check out the Babushka women of Chernobyl.
The Babushka women of Chernobyl?
Yeah, basically they, you know, after Chernobyl shut down, you know, there's basically like a 10-mile radius, and then there's like a 30-mile radius.
Yeah.
Near the 10-mile radius, that's actually a town called Pripyat near the reactor, and nobody can live there. But outside of that 10 and within the 30-mile radius, they let some people return, because what was happening was these people, when they left the Chernobyl area, they were told like, all right, you're going to be home in a couple of days. So they took a backpack. All of a sudden, there are these displaced refugees all throughout the Ukraine and Russia. And people were like, well, who the fuck are you refugees here trying to steal our jobs? You know, that shit's been going on forever. And also, you know, you guys have radiation, you know, they were really very ostracized and displaced. So some of these old women, they said, okay, well, you can return to your houses, but at your own risk. And now here they are, they're all like 100 years old and eating these fucking nuclear carrots and mushrooms. And it's funny, they have the workers walking around going, don't eat that, it's full of radiation. And they're like, yeah.
Wow. Give me the name again. I want to write it down.
The Babushka women of Chernobyl.
Got it. You know, I'm a voracious, you know, documentary watcher. It's sort of part of my my routine, you know,
Sure.
Like the way my life is set up, you know, doing the show, there's always something, you know, a documentary that's on pause. I'll work here for 10 minutes, you know, flop on the bed and watch a documentary for 10 minutes, play the guitar for 5 minutes, you know, like I've learned how to I've learned how to use my ADD, you know, in a way that sort of works here, you know, and move it around. So, man, documentary filmmaking is my life for the most part, and I watch everything. And I like real crummy documentaries too, you know. I like the crummier the better, you know.
What was the one about the hotel on the Bowery?
Oh, the sunshine. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like, I love documentaries like that, because to me, it's like if somebody has the passion and the love to take the time and make something like that, I'm interested in it, because I can relate to that. Like if somebody, really, because I know what it takes to make one of these films. It's a lot. You deserve a medal and a monument. So anybody that's going to put themselves through that ordeal, to my world, they deserve the respect. I want to see what their passion is. I love it, man.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what else? Let's take a couple questions. Someone said you can buy a house in Chernobyl for $5. Is that right?
I guess.
I doubt that, man. Ask AC about his contribution to the book Sex Tips from Rock Stars.
That came out. Actually, this is almost the anniversary of that book coming out. Yeah, my buddy Paul Miles, he's a really good writer, and he wrote this book called Sex Tips from Rock Stars. And it was kind of funny because I was going through like some shit in my personal life. I was going through a really bad breakup when I did the interview. And then just like, you know how it is, it's like all of a sudden 2 years later, he's like, hey, by the way, the book's coming out. And I'm like, oh my God.
No, I'm playing with Joan Jett now. No.
and fortunately, I guess I didn't say anything too dumb, and I guess I came across as humorous. So, yeah, that was a fun book. It's not as cornball as it might sound. At least I don't think so.
Okay. Have you seen Grey Gardens? Yes, I've seen Grey Gardens. Have you seen that?
No.
Grey Gardens. Oh, it's very good. It's a classic. It's called Grey Gardens. It's about a mother and a daughter that live in a dilapidated house in Long Island. They're
talking about.
Yeah, it's a real class. It's a classic, man. It's an incredible film. Let me see what else. Any questions for AC? Throw them out there. Let me see. Going back here. What else do I have? Is there anybody? While we're at it, as I'm poking around here, let me. What kind of gear are you playing these days? Are you sponsored by anybody that needs to be? What are you playing these days?
I'm using the amp you see. There's a amp modeling amp from a company, Positive Grid. I love their stuff. Again, they're technically a Taiwanese company, and with us having a house there and my wife being from there, I like to support. And it's an amazing country. They're democratic. They're really fighting for their independence from China. So I love it there, and I feel very passionate about Taiwan. So I feel like I'm using a local amp there, if that makes any sense.
Well, sure, absolutely.
But I use those for amps, and also a company called Dark Class, who make these really nice bass DIs. And then my guitars are I use Zamitis. And I use Marvin, who hand build guitars out in California. And I use
Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin, right?
Yeah.
And is that what you're holding there? That looks like a Les Paul, right?
That's my first Les Paul right there. That's my pride and joy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got it. First Les Paul, as in first one that you got back in the day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did we sort of jumped off the subject? How did the Joan Jett gig end? Why would a gig like that end? And for you to kind of move on, or was it just a sort of natural progression of events? It was time to move on. How do you move off from a gig like that?
Well, I was at that time. I was the bass player in the band for the longest amount of time. I held the record. I mean, they've fired people like Kenny Aronson. I don't know, the drummer.
You know who I remember? I was friends with him way back in the day. Not Ricky Bird. Ricky Bird played guitar, right?
Right.
Who played bass in that era? We lived in the same neighborhood.
That's Gary Ryan.
Gary Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there was a minute, like once I got the gig, it was like I couldn't throw a rock and not hit someone who hadn't played bass or guitar. I mean, Jimmy Jones. So I knew all along that was not going to last. Like it's like every a lot of bands have that hot seat gig And I had that hot seat gig, and I held on to it for 5 or 6 years. And, you know, and then eventually it just ran out, you know, and that's okay because, you know, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done shows with the Misfits if I was still playing with Joan. So,
Sure.
and I'm much happier. So
there you go. Cool. Here's a question from Thomas Starkey. Favorite Taiwanese night market snack?
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Yeah, man. My people go deep.
let me tell you. So I'm going to say 2 things.
Is that you? Is that Newark burning?
It's Newark burning.
Go ahead.
Des might have set the place on fire. Taiwanese night market food, I'd have to say Taiwanese sausage is amazing. It's unlike anything you've ever had.
Wow.
Man, and I tried going the vegetarian route for a long time, and it's very hard to do there. The seafood's great there, but the night markets have just amazing food. It's a little bit like, you know, like in New York, we've got our bagel guy, we've got our guy, you know, and so you have like your night market guy, like you got your guy.
It's like a culture there, right? It's like there's like that it almost reminds me of like Blade Runner, you know, like where you like the guy, there's like that 2 a.m. sort of spot, right?
You hit the nail on the head. That's when I knew that I liked it there, because I remember it was like one of the nights I was getting ready to leave. It might have been my first or second time there. And so I'm packing it. It's like 2 a.m. and it's a Sunday or Monday night. And my brother-in-law's like, dude, are you hungry? And I'm like, actually, yeah, I'm starving. Like, can we go get food? He's like, yeah. And we go to the night market, you know, and just not all the spots are open. And I'm like, this is a 24-hour city and it's a 24-hour culture. I'm in. Like, I like that, you know. But to answer your question, there's this one dude, and I want to import the idea to the States. They make these donuts that are like crunchy and like deep fried. And I got my guy, and they're hard to find. Like he's like everybody makes their stuff differently. So sometimes you get them and they're too crunchy. It's like, he's not the guy. Not the guy, you know?
It kind of reminds me a little bit of here in New York. We have like those coffee, what do you call them? Carts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I got a dude right on my corner here, you know, and it's become, you know, he's like my go-to guy. I mean, I've never drank coffee in my life, but you know, he's up there with bagels and donuts and tea and whatever. It's actually been kind of cool now because there's like a place, you know, 30 yards from my building where, you know, I could go and get something to eat for breakfast or lunch if I'm hungry, you know?
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Now is the time of our show. Chucky Brown, our resident historian. Can you speak on the song Die MF Die from Dope being on the charts for the top songs used for torturing people at Guantanamo Bay? Is that right?
That is true.
Shit, I'm sorry. I guess I should read the questions before I fucking say them, right? Sorry, bro. I don't mean to put you in a comfortable. Come on, Chucky.
Not at all. You know, it allegedly it was used for that, but it was also one of the top songs used for our soldiers in Afghanistan. And, you know, I felt like shit about that. I actually co-wrote that riff. I was not very proud of that. I didn't like that was what, you know, I didn't want to think that was something I wanted to be attached to. And, you know, you can't decide how people use your music really, but I'll say this, that changed for me. I was with Joan and we were doing a show one time, and the runner for the show, he was running errands for us. And I was like, hey man, can you take me to the grocery store? I want to pick up some things. He says, yeah. And I get in the van, and Joan's there and everybody's there. And he goes to me, he's like, dude, are you AC Slade? And I'm like, yeah, that's Joan Jett right there. You know, like, what the fuck do you worried about me for? And he's like, listen, man. He's like, I got to tell you, I was in, I don't remember if it was Iraq or Afghanistan, but he's like, I did not like being a soldier. I hated going into combat. And we used to listen to Die Motherfucker to get pumped up. And he's like, that song got me through what I had to get through to get into a mindset to do things I didn't want to do. Ooh. I really thank you for that. And I was like, all right, so it's not, I don't know. I thought it was a very meathead type thing. And then when he kind of explained it that way, I was like, oh, okay, I never thought of it that way before. So that gave me peace with that, you know?
Well, it's interesting what you said about songwriting and song crafting. Once it's out of your hands, you know, it's a lot of songs have been taking in a lot of directions. Like, I mean, not to bring another New Jersey native into the mix, but even like Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA. I mean, it was totally taken in a, you know, it was in a way, it was sort of written as a critique of the USA. And then it was embraced as like a real pro kind of, you know, and I mean, Bob Dylan, let go of that a long time ago. People just will take these songs or you know, a lot of groups, or how about, you know, Minor Threat, you know, a lot of, you know, a lot of those songs have been, you know, picked up and really people have charged with them. And I mean, I don't have that experience with anything I've written, but anything I've written, but it must be pretty incredible, you know?
Yeah.
And now people are saying, now I have to go check that song out, you know? That's funny.
It's heavy. It's
excuse me?
It's heavy and angry.
Yeah. Here's a friend. Here's our friend Chucky Perez. You know, ask AC if he drinks Bustelo coffee.
Oh, dude, you can't be a New Yorker and not have drank Bustelo. You know, my attitude on it is this. If you visit any coffee plantation, right, and you go and you meet those farmers farmers work so hard for such little money. It is grueling work, and they don't make much money. And some of them are trying to save, you know, their plantations that have been in their family. And you know what? Like, I don't think that for me to win, anybody else has to lose. I think that if you're buying coffee, it's hopefully supporting farmers that live in places that really suck. So by all means, please just buy coffee. And I mean, if you buy mine, that's awesome. But either way, when you buy coffee, it's probably, you know, obviously there's fair trade stuff and everything like that, but somehow the trickle down is helping people somewhere. So I'm very pro Catfight Coffee, obviously, because that's my company. But, you know, anytime I see somebody drinking a cup of coffee, I'm happy for the farmers.
And what is this? One of our people, Lily Coffee, Lily from Italy. Do you know of this?
Yeah, they're all right. They're pretty good.
That makes sense.
They're not my favorite, but I mean, if you're in Italy and you go to Rome and you go to the the old Colosseum, there's like the oldest espresso bar in the world there.
Is that right? At the Rome Colosseum?
Not the Colosseum, the other place.
In Rome, in Rome proper?
Yeah, I keep wanting to say the Patreon, but that's
no, the Parthenon.
Is that what it's called? I forget.
Isn't that Greek? I don't know.
No. It's definitely in Italy. I went there, and it's like the oldest coffee shop. That's kind of what I like. I like the places where there's some old guy and it's some no-name coffee.
Well, that's all over Italy, right? You there's like even I know that because actually I was in Italy with the Misfits. You know, in 1997, my band that I was managing, Sub-Zero, did the whole European tour with them, and I was on the whole tour. Actually, that's where I really got connected with Michael Alago. But we all traveled together, and we went to places like Venice and a lot of other places. But you know, places like Venice, you know, and the people that I was with all drink coffee and are into all that. And there's just these really funky sort of like one man type of places there, you know?
Yeah. They got those espresso machines where it's like they pull a bar.
Yeah. The Pantheon.
That's it. The Pantheon.
Yeah, man. Hey, Mosh. Shouting out Mosh. Speaking of Europe, Agnostic Front Tour Manager. How are you, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. But yeah, the Pantheon.
The Pantheon. Fuck. See, I was close with Patreon.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Bustelo, Mark. Whoa. Yeah. Manuel says Bustelo started by a guy in New York from my father's part of Spain. Yeah.
Great. Yeah,
I mean,
man.
yep. And of course, now the Guineas are chiming in, like Dominic. Italy, coffee and food is like no other. All right, relax there, Skipper. No. But yeah, hey Dom, I hope you're well, buddy. What else? Yeah, now we're on the coffee thing. Is that right? Chucky says AC enjoys drinking coffee and listening to Motown. You're a Motown fan?
Huge Motown fan.
Yeah. Great hearing a bit of AC's story. Real cool to hear him and Christian Martucci start with the dream and then really make it big. Well deserved and inspiring.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, man. You know, people that have hung in there and dedicated themselves to playing music, coming from our world, man. There's not a lot of you guys. You know, there just aren't that have really stuck with it. I mean, the guy on the next show is another one. Walter Schreifels is coming up. He's another guy that really, makes a living doing it, man. And it's tough. People think, it's glory all the time, but it's not.
No. You got the El Nino guys on there,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those guys, it's like Paz has his studio and Dave manages, it's all a side hustle.
I go way back with Laz. Laz and his family. I went to JFK High School in the Bronx, and I've known those guys since they were kids, man. So I'm looking forward to having them on the show. Ken B asks, "What's AC's favorite type of photography?"
Probably urban exploring. I guess when I go urban exploring, I kind of feel like I understand why guys like to go hunting or fishing, except for I don't kill anybody or anything. Right. But it's like you hear about like, hey man, I heard there's an abandoned hospital like out here. You gotta go before the sun comes up so the security guards don't get you. And then once you get in, just keep an eye out for them patrolling the grounds. And then you get there and it's like just like a shell of a place. You're like, well, this sucks. All right, well, I guess we got nothing to really shoot here. So there's this thing of like never knowing what you're going to find once you get there. And maybe you'll get some good photos and maybe you won't, but it's a couple hours where I'm not thinking about music and I'm not thinking about coffee and I'm not, I'm worried about not getting caught by the cops or, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's that record that is that a gold is that a gold record behind you? What is that?
That's for
no, the other one behind your head.
Murderdolls.
Yes. Oh, that's the Murderdolls. That right on.
Yeah.
Good. That's nice.
That's nice.
That's nice.
That's
I got a couple that I didn't play on.
Murderdolls. That's nice.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
He pulled up in a hearse today. That's nice.
He's a good kid. He's got a coffee business and he drives around in a hearse. Chucky asks, can you talk about your encounter with Patti Smith? I know nothing of this. Did something bad happen? Something not nice?
Let me tell you something. First of all, I think Patti Smith is an enormous inspiration to me as a person. And she's just great. And one of the jobs I had was I worked at a rehearsal place in New York.
It just keeps going and going, man. With what rehearsal place were you working at?
It was Big Mike's place, CMS.
I don't know that one. Oh.
26 between 10th and 11th.
Right.
Like right one block over from SIR.
Okay.
But I was leaving to go on tour with Amen. And I had all my gear stashed at the rehearsal place. And I got called like last minute, like a couple days before the tour is going to start. Like, hey, we got this tour starting. We need somebody. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah, I got it. So the idea was I couldn't find anybody to cover my shifts. So it was like, well, here's what we'll do. I'll work my shift. You guys come by, pick me up in the van. All my gear's there. At the end of my shift, I'll just throw my gear in and we'll head down the highway,
Uh-huh.
And Patty was rehearsing that night, and I was talking to JD, the drummer, and we're making small talk. He's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm pretty good. Just started my shift. And I'm like, yeah, today's my last day. I'm leaving to go on tour. And he's like, dude, that's awesome. And he was really supportive and cool. Well, one of the other guys who worked there had started setting up Patty's sound, right?
Right.
His shift ended and he just walked out. Well, I assumed that he left after making sure that everything was okay. He did not.
Boy.
He saw 5 o'clock hit and he walked out the door, which isn't how I would handle things. And so he just walked out, and they're kind of like, we were in the middle of doing monitors and this dude just left. And so Patty comes in and she's like, the fuck is going on here? Like we've been waiting for somebody to finish doing monitors for the past 15 minutes. We're paying by the hour. She's tearing me. And I'm like, I am so sorry. That's really not cool. And I go up and I go into the room and she keeps tearing into me. And she's like, it's really bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And JD goes, what are you talking about, Patty? He just started his shift. There was another guy here. Like this isn't his problem. Leave him alone. And she's like, well, still. And she's like, it's his last day. He's leaving to go on tour right after the shift. Like chill out. Like he kind of came to my aid, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, and I just left and I went downstairs, and then Patty walks up. She goes, I was wrong. That wasn't cool. And we're ordering dinner. Would you like to join us? Can I buy you dinner? Good. And it was really cool to like be able to leave to go on tour and have Patty Smith bring me dinner and have dinner in the lounge with them, and really, really cool of her. And yeah,
I tell you, man, I wouldn't want Patty Smith raging on me, bro. She looks like, man, I don't want none of that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's whoa.
Yeah.
Don't want to go there. Hey, let me shout out a couple sponsors one last time. You'll come back. We'll wrap it up a little. We'll take a few more questions, okay?
Cool.
It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore page, and New York Hardcore Comics, and the Organic Grill. Organic Grill is a vegan roasterant. See, I got the coffee on my head. Organic Grill is a vegan roasterant located in the East Village at 123 First Avenue, featured in New York Magazine, the New York Times, and Veg News. Their dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, and burger patties, and every dish on the menu can be made gluten-free. This year, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing, clean food. After 3 months of being closed, they're now open for deliveries. Get in touch with them and order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. Also, want to shout out Chris, our boy Chris, the Your Core fan page. He wanted me to push the Reaching Out show that's this Saturday. Your Core fan page is a digital platform aimed at capturing hardcore punk bands in real time and get up-to-date information on what they are doing now. Also, the page is focused on promoting and supporting bands, venues, and merchandise through the Instagram app on Your Core fan page. Also, while we are at it, one more time, don't be a Hatreon, join Patreon. I want to shout out some of my new Patreon supporters. Thank you very much for supporting the show. Danny Cavazzi, Meredith Bain, Anthony Green, Philip Oakley, Kelly Didi Monico, Zapagor Wakato, The Mag, Christopher Hoffman, and Riz Faraki. Thank you all for supporting it. That's the Patreon page. Jump in the game. Please. Please, please. Michael Burnett, what's up? The Burner Man watching my show? Get out of here. What's happening, man? Wow. That's great. Hope you're well, Burner Man. And thanks, man. We did some great stuff together back in the day. Nice to see you here, man. That's awesome. In the meantime, I think I'm covering everything right. We got coming up on Sunday is the 75th show with Walter Schreifels and special guest Roger Moret from Agnostic Front. It's gonna be a long show. No rush. We're gonna march everybody through here. That's this Sunday, the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live 75th show. Amazing, yet true stories of New York hardcore. Yeah. That said, let me put the merch link in there again. Anybody want to get down on some merch? I'm still waiting to hook it up to YouTube. By the way, I got 10,000 subscribers. If you're watching the show in rerun, there's a button right there. Subscribe to the show. There you go. merchandise, the mugs, stuff like that. Support the show. My last ride home. I know it's crazy, right? A video for one of my street bike films that I did back in the day has well over 1 million views. You know, I wish I would have put that up. D1 put it up, right? I wish I would have had that. I wish that was on my page. One of my videos has 1 million views and it's not on my page. You know, that sucks. That said, let me clear the deck. Let's bring on our guest AC Slade. Let's bring Rat Bones and Steven back on, and let's hold on. You better hold on to yourself. Another great show, Drew. Well, where you going? It ain't over yet. Calm down, Paul. Calm down. What's up, Rat Bones? What's up, Steven?
What's up?
Back again.
What's up, AC? What's happening? Hey, what's going on back there, Steven?
I'm back home. I left the goats. I came back home.
You sent me a picture, bro. Who's this? Who's this?
That is David Bowie.
That's his name?
That is he's a rescue. His name is David Bowie. And his
what do you mean a rescue? Goats need to be rescued?
Goats get rescued from like evil petting zoos and like places
really?
where they're mystery. Oh yeah.
I'm a big goat fan, man. I like goats.
How metal is this guy, you know? And it's funny because his brother is David Gilmour. And I love it. I love it. They but you know what? I got a couple of things for AC. Number one, are you a Death Wish fan at all?
I'm not. You know, I love their branding. I love their marketing, and again, you know, they're hopefully doing right by all the farmers. There's a big misconception, and I'll probably have to dodge some bullets here, but you know, there's this misconception that dark roasted coffee has more caffeine. That's not true. If it's dark roasted and it has more caffeine, it's probably added with chemicals artificially. So. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you like, I mean, it's no different than adding sugar or adding anything else, you know. But
I just think it tastes good,
dude. If you think it tastes good, then that's all that fucking matters, you know.
Yeah, I'm a big coffee fan, and it's funny because there's a lot of I love the Bustelo. I have a cupboard full of Bustelo. There's a lot of coffee now is like kind of like the craft beer explosion.
Yeah,
you have like Black Rifle, and you have a lot of these big coffee companies coming, and there's really a lot of good ones.
Sure.
And but I definitely have to try yours because I have not tried it yet, and I don't like to let any coffee go kind of unattended. So I'm a huge coffee drinker.
Yeah,
and
I still drink Bustelo from time. There's two that are my go-tos. Bustelo I drink from time to time, and Café Du Monde.
Oh, I know Café Du Monde.
Yeah,
right? Is that right, AC? The longer the roast, the less caffeine. Is that right?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That is true.
And my other thing was, as in your touring time, if you've ever been to Long Island, we have something that's pretty famous here, and it's called the Kings Park Psychiatric Center.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows that place, bro.
And it is, as if you like urban exploration, it's the coolest place around here, and also considered to be one of the more haunted places as well. But it's really, really cool, and there's a lot of history to it. Not to mention Pilgrim State, and
is that the one? Is that the one that's all the way out in Montauk?
No. Kings Park is in Kings Park. Pilgrim State's in Comac.
What's the one that's way out? Isn't there one that's way out there?
I think there's one that like I haven't been to, and I don't know enough about it, but it was like a military. I want to say it was like a military testing place.
That's the place that they apparently based Stranger Things on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
Out to it at low tide. Yeah, I haven't been to that one, but I have friends that have been.
But I'm fascinated by all of that, and a lot of the Long Island was apparently the capital for mental hospitals in the entire country.
Wasn't Creedmoor out in Long Island?
Creedmoor still, you know, it's like the Long Island Queens kind of, and you had Central Islip. There was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
and
Drew, if there's Seaview out here out in Staten Island. That there's a lot of you know, a lot of these places were really fucked up. Like that place in Pennsylvania.
You're in Staten Island. What is the one? Willowbrook. Willowbrook. Isn't that in Staten Island?
No, but I think
that's in Staten Island.
Is it okay?
That had a horrible history.
I know it's a big tourist attraction, AC, but the prison in Pennsylvania where they shot the Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, Eastern State. Yeah, that place is awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, Rappos, what's happening? You got anything for AC?
Not much. What up, AC?
What's up, brother?
You guys are making me have a memory, though. I'm from like down on the shore, like off exit 91 off the Parkway, and our creepy place to go was they built these. There were long water tubes, and that was the thing. When you went in there far enough, you'd hear dogs barking. The dogs, with wild dogs, lived back there, so like that was the dangerous spot. All the kids would. That was the thing to go. If you could walk to it was just a tube that went under the Parkway. It was really kind of ridiculous, but it's fun. I remember all of those joints. But look, I noticed earlier when I showed the ticket stubs, I had the
Prudential Center, Newark.
Yeah.
Hey, that was like a local gig for you, right, AC? Was like that must have been like how cool is that? That's by the way, I saw that show. That was a great show.
Night, man. That was an epic event. Yeah. I mean, I'm a Jersey guy, born and bred. And I also wanted to say to AC, Stella made my wife Stella made pants for Joan Jett, and she's still good friends with Stephanie, who's Tommy Price's wife. Uh-huh. And you actually met my son Luke at the wedding, at the daughter's birthday.
Oh, so yeah.
Separation, like we already met each other. Our families have met. It's kind of cool.
Awesome.
Right on.
I love your toy collection, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. Cool.
Well, hey, we're not for sale, man. You could be a customer.
Everything Rappos has can come at a price. All right. Hey, Rappos, Steven. Hey, what is that behind you, Steven?
What's that you looking at?
A creature. A creature.
You got a Bullies 12-inch behind. Is that the Philly punk band, the Bullies?
Oh, I like the Bullies. God, in fact, they played around here years ago.
Yeah.
What wasn't one of the Bullies killed in 9/11? One of the original Bullies?
Jeez.
Well, there's two different Bullies though. There's one from Philly, but you are. I know the other Bullies too, but I didn't know.
I think one of them was a fireman. I think.
Yeah. No, that's correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in fact, they had. I have the disc that looks like a Salt and Pepper notebook.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's funny. That you got a good eye. The wow, yeah, that's a long time. It's almost 20. It's 20 years now.
It's like we're all dudes like post 40 that have
we're giant children.
Since we're 18, I mean, like, look, like I got all my fucking taxidermy, but I got all my toys too.
Oh, like,
wow.
So
that's awesome.
Hey, show us some of the taxidermy. I want to see some of that.
That's cool.
That's the bird. Wow. Hard to come by. They're actually illegal to trade now, I think. I got that, and then this is hard to come by too because once the horns turn for a second time, they become really rare, and that's an albino. So that's pretty weird.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
is that stuff that you keep an eye out for out on the road? Cool stuff like that?
Sometimes, yeah. It's that's one of the advantages to moving to Newark. It's like when I lived in Brooklyn, I couldn't have a man cave.
Yeah. There you go. And I mean, you live with Dez from that was in Black Flag, right? Dez lives upstairs, right?
Yeah, he lives upstairs from me. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to get Dez on the show at some point.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think the cool thing for me, too, with collecting is, you know, I love toys as a kid. Obviously, it's like a magical time. That's why we still collect and go back there so easily. But I literally saw Glenn Danzig, and like when fanzines were real shitty and like grainy, you couldn't even see the picture. But it was like Glenn Danzig, and his whole toy wall was like Shogun Warriors and Batman and all this shit. The Batmobile on the I wanted to do that too, just because I thought that was punk to collect toys and go see punk band. I had to do the whole thing. I had to, now I made a business out of it. It's really cool, But yeah, I mean, there's a definite passion for us as punks to collect things,
Absolutely. Hey, go ahead, Stacey. I'm sorry.
And in fact, the NECO headquarters, NECA Toys, they're out here. And I got to go see where they do all the sculpting and modeling for all the toys.
Wow. And they did the Planet of the Apes stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Hey, Steven. Steven,
alien back
there. Hey, I'll see you guys soon. Steven and Rathbones.
AC, thank you so much.
Awesome.
And I'll see you there.
Steven, I'll be in touch.
Great
We got a
few
shows we got to get flyers for.
You got it.
All right, Steven, I'll see you later. Rathbones, thank you, man. Thank you for
that alien and that Deadpool up there are NECA. The big ones up here behind me here on this side. This one. That alien and that Deadpool, yeah. So yeah, man. Yo, it's great hearing your story, brother.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you on Sunday for the 5th anniversary, guys.
Thank you, Rathbones. There you have it, huh? Cool. Anybody, listen, once again, thanks for coming by, AC. It was a fun time. Anybody want to shout out on the way out the door?
Nobody I can think of. I don't know. Nobody's ever asked me that during an interview. I guess just want to shout out my coffee company, Catfight Coffee. We roast every week. We roast here in Brooklyn. We roast here in Newark. And it's fresh. We ship every day. We ship 6 days a week, so that way you get it fast, and it's exceptional quality. And the packaging is a lot like all the old toy stuff that we were looking at. It's like the packaging is very much geared towards people who have toys on their wall and CDs on their wall and vinyl on the wall. And so if you're a rock and roll person and you want really good quality coffee, but you're not into bands like Cage the Elephant, we're the company for you.
Fantastic. Thanks again, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, cool.
There you have it, Mr. AC Slade. Fun show. We were the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core fan page. Fun show today, everybody. Don't forget, on Sunday is the big 75th show. Wow, that is so crazy. 75th show, man. So we'll see everybody. We'll see everybody then. Going out to Brooklyn to see my Polish girlfriend. What's up? Don't try to stop me. And I hope nobody fucked up my car. So I got a long walk to the car. I'm coming for you, Aganishka. All right. That said, look, it's been great. Let me clear the deck a little bit. AC is gone. AC's gone, but not forgotten. Once again, let me see. I covered everything, right? This, that, and the other thing. Yeah. What's up, Larry Kelly? Hope you're well, buddy. Up there in Boston. Go see the Phil and Flash thing. That's happening. Get Jim Brewer on the show. All right. You know who I want to get on the show is Joe Sib, the comedian. I want to get Joe Sib on the show. We're about to now announce a couple of other shows. Hey, Paulie, thanks for tuning in, Paulie. It was a good show. Where's the edit button on YouTube? Is there an edit button? Why did I? Hope I didn't say anything bad. Oi to your core. All right. Drew's car protected by Vipers. Stand back. We'll see. I parked a couple days ago, man. I hope it's, hope it's okay. What else? What else? I think we covered everything. It gets dark out early, man. Jeez. It's like looks like it's midnight out there. Anyway, that said, thank you, everybody. New York Hardcore Comics, thank you, man. Thanks for being a part of it. Lee and Debo, really appreciate it. Get Y-Die on. Well, we're on a Philly kick now. Is that it? Is that it? We're on the Philly kick. Y-Die, sure. Yeah, why not? Yeah, it's all good in the hood. That said, listen, take care, everybody. Who knows? Maybe next time I see you, America will have a new president. Until then, do good things, and good things will come to you.